Hello YouTube. Today we'll be looking at the brand new banner detail that was just released on Genshin Impact Twitter right after the Wander trailer. Okay, listen, shut up. I promise you this is the first time we're making this take right now. Shut the fuck up. And of course, as always, you guys know it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. Let's get started into what I think about the banner. I promise you not the second take. Starting off with the two features 5-star characters, which are Wander as well as Itto. I'm starting off with Wander. I didn't make a pre-release analysis video for him, unfortunately, this time because I was really sick. As you might be able to tell, I'm still really sick, so talking a lot kind of string for a little bit. But just to give a very quick rundown on what I currently think about him and if you should be pulling for him, he is going to be a very mid-tier character, probably a little bit better than the other mid-tier characters. But in general, he's just not going to be meta-changing, not necessary for your account, maybe not even that strong. Doesn't mean he's weak, but he just won't be the strongest character in the game. And it's what we call the mid-tier characters. He's to many extents like a Anemo Yoimiya, but definitely a lot better than Yoimiya as he's not locked to strictly single target, and he does have some amount of utility, like a little bit of grouping. Plus, he's Anemo, which means if you have to, you can just bring VV, which can bring you great team utility, or maybe even something like DDDS to be a Callus user. That being said, if you like Wanders, you really like his animation, and you really like the way he's played, you could consider pulling for him. And again, I heavily suggest you to wait a week for the character analysis. Oh, I guess he can fly, which is cool. Moving on to Itto, just like Wander, he is a mid character, only really play in mono Geo team, which to be honest, I think it's one of the worst hyper carry team you can possibly play. But it's fine if you really like Itto. He's still decent damage, decent AoE. Do you know that you have to full commit on Itto if you do want to pull for Itto, which means not only going for the Goro, as Goro is essential when it comes to the Itto column, but also potentially pick up a Albedo whenever a rerun come in the future. As mono Geo team, you kind of have to full commit, including your Resin and your Primo. It's not really a characters I recommend if you're just asking me should I pull for Itto, but if you really Itto and you just want to really Itto, he's an okay character. With that being said, just like last time, we're gonna be making a video covering all the rerun characters very soon, including Itto's, Ayato, and Raiden whenever I have a little bit more time. Maybe I'm less sick. So, and again, if you're not subscribed already, stay subscribed for that video when it does come out. But with that being said, the 4 stars on these banners are, to be honest, pretty bad. Well, I mean, it's okay, like, because you have Hasan and Miku for Wander, and then you have Bro for Itto, and then you have Yanfei. Yanfei, starting off, is pretty much never seen in the Genshin Impact meta right now. People used to try her out as a shooter with Constellation 4, but to be honest, Yanfei is almost never ever play in the Genshin Impact meta. If you like Yanfei, you could play her as a main DPS, but it's a character that has fallen off ever since its release. Goro, essential in any of the defense Geo team, which are Itto and Noelle, and essentially not used anywhere else. So Goro is a very niche character, and it's a good thing that they put him onto the Itto banner because, well, if you're gonna pull for Itto, essentially you really want for Goro as well, so that's great. And then we have Harusan, which is like how Goro is to Itto, is a Anemo support for Wander. She does add a good amount of damage to Wander as far as I know, but unfortunately he does have some other issues as well, and we'll look into that a little bit deeper when the character does drop. A lot of people are asking if they should be pulling for Harusan if they're a Xiao main, and the answer is, to be honest, I would recommend against it, because one of the biggest problem when it comes down to Xiao is you have energy issues, and Sucrose as a Anemo support conveniently kind of help Xiao out really badly there, since Sucrose has 2 elemental skill that can easily funnel energy into Xiao, where Harusan is currently projected to have insane amount of energy problem. That's just not make her the greatest. If you have Constellation 6 Harusan, maybe, but I really would suggest against going for Constellation 6 unless you're like a super Xiao sim main or something like that. Even then, I'll be honest, it's probably not that good. So this character is only really for Wanderers, and then Goro is only really for Itto, maybe Noelle. Overall, it makes this character banner really, aside from the word bad, I guess it's really niche. Like, if you weren't going for the 5-star, this character banner have almost no values to you or even your account. If you're going for the 5 stars, it's still questionable, because if you're going for Itto, you're only looking for Goro, and if you're going for Wander, you're only looking for Harusan. So no matter what you're pulling for, you always lose some values just because the other characters are not what you're looking for. See, imagine you're pulling for Wander and you hit C6 Goro, and you're pulling for Itto and you hit for C6 Farsight. Surely will not happen to anyone. Surely I'll not wish that for anyone, but for the people who are not subscribed, I wish you get C6 Goro when you're pulling for Wander. Get fucked. So subscribe now, bitch. Let's move on to the weapon banner. The weapon banner, as we would expect, have the Wander signature weapon and Itto signature weapon, which are both crit start weapon. Now, these are not the greatest crit start weapon in the game compared to something like Staff of Homa, but are still decent. The key word to note here is that there are really good alternative if you're looking for a crit weapon. Namely, for 4 stars in the Catalyst category, you have Will Smith, and then for Claymore, you have Serpent Spine, which is one of the strongest weapons in the entire game. So the value of these two 5-star weapons is actually not that high. Fortunately, if you're going for the signature weapon, then it's honestly not a bad banner, since both of these weapons are still crit substat weapon and can easily be used on characters that are looking for crit stat stick. Especially the Claymore, even though it has a defense skill link passive, even if your character doesn't build defense percent, it is still a really good Claymore, if assuming you don't have a other better Claymore. The problem really is that there just isn't a lot of good Claymore and Callus user that would really want crit. Like for Claymore, the only DPS Claymore users are Eula, Itto, and the Luke, all of which are not necessarily the top tier of the Genshin Impact meta. And the same kind of go for Callus, not really, because we do have Nahida, but you really don't need to pull for a 5-star weapon for these characters. So if you're going for the signature weapon anyway, because you like the characters, that's great. Otherwise, I would suggest against going for these weapons, because I don't think they're that valuable for your account, and they're not even that much of an upgrade if you're looking for an upgrade. Moving on to the 4 stars of this weapon banner, we have Onius Bow, really good. Daki's Sword, really good. Both of these weapons are the top tiers in the Genshin Impact meta. Funneling your energy is really important coming down to drafting a team comp, and both of these weapons does exactly that. Faf Bow, really good on characters like Galon, Diano. Sack Sword, really good on characters like Sikus and more. However, the other weapon are honestly like they're pretty meh. Like Faf Claymore is great in theory if we ever get a good Claymore support, but we don't really have a good Claymore support. I mean, I guess you can use it on things like Sayu. Wavebreaker Fin, usable at Refine 5 on your Xiangling. Otherwise, not really. I mean, you can use it on other things like Arya if you are building a team like that. But in general, the Wavebreaker Fin is not really that great. And you have Eye of Perception, which is like arguably just the worst weapon in the entire game. Overall, I would say this weapon banner is also pretty meh. This is probably one of the worst rotation in terms of banner we have ever seen so far. A Shunther weapon? No, on Shunther, you actually run Bath most of the time. So even then, you don't really want Wavebreaker Fit. It's usable, but it's not what you want. So yeah, I don't know. These weapons are pretty bad, or the banner just pretty bad. So easy skip if you're me, I guess. For most people, probably easy skip. Unless you're like super sim, probably easy skip. Like these characters are not really what I would recommend unless you really want to play them and you really like them. In which case they're fine, but yeah, not necessarily a character I would be like, hey, character is really strong, you should have. So that's really it. Okay, that being said, I promise you this is the first take. I swear this is not the second take. So I'll see you guys next time, okay? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all. Bye.